Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8 Second Gaming. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at how you can counter the res meta. Right now, I think everyone has been struggling against the supports. You got Lifeline and Gibby, Newcastle just absolutely running the show out there. But today, I'm going to show you guys exactly how a specific legend can just absolutely counter that and make it so that those legends are just useless. Now, before we actually hop into this, if you guys find this video useful and you enjoy it, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help this channel out, because the more people that do that, the more that YouTube pushes this into the algorithm, the more exposure I get, and it just helps everything out. And also, if you guys want to see some of my gameplay live, come check me out on Twitch sometime over on twitch.tv/8secondgaming. The link will be in the description below. But okay, with that covered, let's actually hop into the video. And the first thing that I want to talk about is the legend in particular, and that is going to be, of course, Caustic. Now, Caustic does what no other legend does right now, and that is cut off certain areas in a fight at a moment's notice. Now, some legends can do that, like Wattson does have the ability to cut off certain areas in fights, but she doesn't have the hands-free capability that Caustic does. In order for a Wattson to actually cut off any area of play, she needs to be placing down the fences, and she needs to be relatively close to it. Like, for example, here, if a Wattson wanted to cut off the bridge that I'm playing on top of, she would have to put a node here and a node here. That would connect them and make it so that they can't push this spot on the bridge here. Now, that does take a little bit of setup time, because you do have to place both those nodes. Once they're a little bit more experienced, you can do that pretty quickly. But for example, if there was somebody that was playing behind these boxes and I wanted to cut off a bigger area and I wanted to put a barrel right here, as a Wattson, you can't do that, because if I put a barrel right there, that essentially cuts off this entire area of play, and it forces whoever's behind these boxes to either go this way or go this way, which allows me to have more options for my fight. If I take areas of play away from the enemy team, that helps my team so much more. But a Wattson can't do that. If I wanted to do that as Wattson, I'd have to hop down here, place a node here, place a node here, connect these two, and then it's not the same kind of effectiveness. But again, there are some other legends, so, Catalyst could potentially do it, because Catalyst does have the ability to throw her goop here, but this would only cut off really this area, and it's not as large, and it's a little bit easier to deal with in certain senses. Yes, the Caustic barrels, you can shoot them and they just immediately deflate, or once they're going off, you can shoot them and get rid of them that way. But if done correctly with a Caustic, you don't actually give the enemy team time to shoot your barrels, or if they are going to shoot your barrels, then they're going to get punished for it, because then they're not shooting you. So with Caustic in this situation, you can see that we have already forced the bubble out of the Gibraltar, and we've already forced the shield out of the Newcastle. So that is two very big things that are already gone that the enemy team does not have to use. And that is another example of the support meta, because now you can see that they have a Newcastle, a Gibraltar, and actually their third happens to be Lifeline. So there's 3 supports that we need to be worrying about here. But as we push up, because now we can start to take advantage of the spots that they don't have, because now they don't have 2 of the shields. They don't have those abilities. And you can see I'm starting to take space away by throwing these barrels up instantly. If they want to shoot the barrels, then they're not shooting me. But now I'm able to just get some free shots on the side of this Newcastle, because they were too distracted shooting the barrels. As you can see, the barrels are no longer here. There's nothing there. The issue that a lot of Caustic players run into is the fact that they don't push off their barrels. They'll throw a barrel out, the enemy team will shoot it, and they don't punish that. It's something that you can't let happen. If the enemy team wants to shoot your barrel, you have to let them know that they're not going to just get to do that for free. So yeah, none of my barrels are here anymore, but we got a knock in order to do that. So we traded 2 barrels for a kill, and we are all full health. You can see we didn't take any damage in order to get that knock, because they were shooting the barrel and they weren't shooting us. Now, it is a little annoying, because now I don't have any barrels, but it's only 3 seconds until I get the next one, and I also have my ultimate. The ultimate is a very strong tool in this meta, because it cuts off so much area without being counterable. The barrel takes away a lot of area, but it is still it is able to be broken. They can shoot it before it even inflates. There's so many different ways that you can counter the barrel, but the ultimate isn't able to be countered, especially in this meta. So as soon as we get that knock, we don't want to let them get the res off. This is a huge thing that a lot of people get wrong. They don't immediately rush whenever they get an advantage. In this meta, especially, as soon as you have the slightest advantage, you need to push your foot on the gas. You cannot give them an inch because they will take a mile. And this is actually another example of, kind of rolling people a little bit, because right now the Newcastle's down. Newcastle is the strongest legend in the game right now, hands down. So we did get a really lucky break for Newcastle being the one that was out of position there. If this was like the Lifeline or Gibraltar and Newcastle was up and he was able to drag them this way, it would be a little bit different. We'd still be doing the exact same play of jumping down here, but it'd be a little bit harder to kind of pull off. But as you can see, as soon as we drop down here, I throw my ultimate to cut off this entire area of play. Because if they want to res the Newcastle, they're going to have to do it inside the gas and between two of us. And actually, technically three, because our Lifeline is on the way. It's just two of us right now, though. So if they want to push this, they're going to have to take a lot of health in order to do so. And even at some points, this might thirst the Newcastle as he's getting revived. But even if it doesn't, it won't, it'll take away so much health that as soon as he gets up, there's not really a whole lot for him to do. So this area here is now completely ours. They have no option to push this, and especially with the Lifeline Halo coming down, which was actually really good play by our Lifeline, this is all just enveloped in caustic gas. And now if they want to push into this Halo, not only are they giving us the advantage because we're playing at our speed, but they're also coming into caustic gas. So caustic has just cut off a res, he's cut off a ton of area of play, and now we're able to just completely steamroll this team because now we're playing at our speed. Everything that's going on here is dictated by us, and you can see as we move up, I'm throwing barrels because it's the exact same idea of if they want to shoot that barrel, they're not shooting us. And now we have taken this Gibraltar's dome away from him. Usually, if a Gibby throws a dome, he intends to play that dome, and that is his area to play. But now this is ours, and if he wants to walk in, he has to go through a caustic barrel in order to do so. And now the Lifeline is just stuck here. She does get a knock, which, yeah, it is good for her, but there's nothing that this team can do at this point in order to get back in the game. And this is something that a lot of people need to realize now in order to stop the res meta. A lot of people that I see struggling against Newcastle, against Lifeline, against these types of legends, they don't keep their foot on the gas. As soon as they get a knock, as soon as they get an advantage on a team, they just let the other team res. I've seen so many people, as soon as a Newcastle starts to revive someone, they don't press their advantage. They don't push the Newcastle. They just kind of look and wait until the Newcastle's done reviving and then re-knock the person. And then it just is a circle of them staring at the Newcastle, waiting for the Newcastle to res, knocking the person that the Newcastle's resing, and then they complain that the meta is unbeatable or it's unskilled when they didn't even do anything to try and counter it in the first place. Caustic takes all of that advantage that these support legends have. It takes it away from them. It gives him so many different areas to play. It gives him so many different options in fights. And if you guys are struggling against the res meta, I highly recommend giving Caustic a try because he just counters this meta so perfectly. If people want to play a bubble, cool. You slide in, you drop your ultimate, that is your bubble now. People want to play a Lifeline Halo, cool. Slide in, drop your ultimate, drop a gas bubble. It's yours now. The only thing that does kind of slightly counter Caustic is Newcastle's ultimate, because it does intercept grenades and your barrel. So your ultimate and your barrel does get intercepted, but it's a little bit janky, and if you're throwing it from behind the Newcastle wall, it won't intercept it. So there are still ways around that, and you just have to be a little bit more careful. But anyway, if you guys found this video useful, please hit that like and subscribe button. Check me out on Twitch. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming. I'll see you guys in the next one.